Probably not gonna do another soda story again, unless I find another one somehow miraculously 3 days in a row, because that would be absolutely absurd, and I'd love it. Yes, it's another soda-themed video. I know, it's 3 in a row now. I talked about Starry Soda, as you can see, and then I talked about Coca-Cola getting robbed, and now I get a message in my video ideas channel in my server from Bacon saying, when Pepsi created a contest that ended up killing 5 people by accident, and what do you think? I'm not gonna dig into that? Of course I'm gonna dig into how Pepsi almost killed 5 people. Yeah, so I'm gonna dig into the 349 Pepsi incident, also known as the Pepsi Fever incident that happened in the Philippines. And my god, I thought that reading into it would make it make more sense, but this is honestly one of the goofiest things I've seen so far. We covered Starry Soda asking you to block Sprite. We've covered Coca-Cola trying to get robbed and then the person getting got. But no, the most impressive story I've seen so far in the Soda-Reno pipeline is when Pepsi tried to start a giveaway that ended in people causing riots. In fact, actually, this ended in the IG Nobel Prize, which is like the opposite of the Nobel Peace Prize, given to the Pepsi of the Philippines for uniting all of the warring factions to hate on Pepsi at the same time. That is how absurd this is. So today we're going to dig into it, because what the hell happened? It all started February 1992. Yes, this is the oldest we've gone back. We started with Starry Soda in the present. We had Coca-Cola in 2006. Now we're going back to before Y2K, because in the Philippines, Pepsi wanted to do a giveaway where they essentially, you ever heard of Willy Wonka? Yeah, it's like that. They took Pepsi bottles and inside the cap, they get a number. So essentially nothing like Willy Wonka, but stick with me. There, you get a number, and every day on the news, they would announce a winning lottery number. You know, like Zambling. I love that stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was trying to look for the gambling sound effects that... Get out of my mouth. Looking for the gambling sound effects that just played on the screen just now, and I stumbled across... Let me flip the camera one sec. Casino sound effects and jackpot sound 10 hours. Finally, something I can actually fall asleep to. And so there is a winning number that everyone gets every day, and you can win anything between, what were the numbers? It was between 100 pesos, which is really great. That's a great $4, or 1 million pesos, which is huge for a lot of people. It equates to about $40,000 in the US currency. And I won't lie to you guys, $40,000 is an impressive amount of change. Like, I would take that on any day. My student loans would be incinerated instantly. But at the same time, I find it kind of hilarious that Pepsi was like, we need to give back to the community. We need to show the people we care. Oh, I know. Let's go to the one place where their dollars are worth 0.058 of the US dollar and give away 1 million of those things. That way we can save our money better. But even with that in mind, the competition was wildly successful, with Pepsi's sales apparently going from 10 million to 14 million, all fueled by the Philippines alone, as well as their market share going from 19.4 to 26.9. So they got a good jump of this, and so did the Filipinos, that's the word. The Filipinos also got a big benefit from this, with 51,000 prize winners, as well as 17 of those 51,000 being the grand prize of $40,000, or 1 million pesos. But here's what happened, right? That was great. That was fine. I would even argue that was dandy. The competition seemed to have gone swimmingly. And so after the 12-week period where all of these caps were being sent out to all the Filipinos across the Philippines, they were like, you know what? This was so successful. The Filipinos love it. We love it. We're making money. They're giving us money and sometimes making it back. You know, we love gambling. And so let's extend it. Let's go past the 12-week period and do it a little bit longer. That sounds harmless. That sounds great. Everyone's making money. We're going to have a good old time. Right? Yeah? No, you fool, you heathen. This is where things went absolutely haywire. In fact, that small decision that Pepsi made unironically led to the death of 5 people. That sounds absurd, but allow me to explain. See, when Pepsi did this competition, they printed out certain caps that would be the winners. They predetermined what numbers would be the ones that were like, those are the good ones. And so, of course, for each winning number, they can only print one of them because they can't have, like, multiple of the same winner, or they'd have to give them extra money, and we don't like that, right? And so what happened was, after the 12-week period, they had gone through all of their winning numbers. So every bottle cap out there is repeats, and also all duds. So when they went back through for this extended week period, they wanted to call numbers that would be new winners. And this is when they called the most notorious number, the number that this entire controversy is named off of, number 349. And this is where Funniest thing ever happened. See, that bottle cap has been reprinted multiple times throughout the Philippines. In fact, do you want to guess how many times that bottle cap was reprinted throughout the Philippines when the winner came on? And this isn't just any winner. This isn't like they won $4. This is the $1 million prize for number 349. You want to know how many caps? 800,000. There were 800,000 Filipinos that now think they've won 1 million pesos. And of course, they haven't, because that's not how it goddamned works. See, the thing is, technically they haven't. What happens is, they send a cap out, and the cap has an authentication number that proves it is the winner cap. And so, there are 800,000 number 349 caps, and only 2 of them were the $1 million prize winners. And so, that alone, of course, isn't going to translate into an understandable disagreement with the Filipinos. To them, they got the number that wins, and so they were absolutely pissed. People were running into the streets. Everyone thought they'd won. Like, they were all kind of gathering together like, I won money! And everyone's like, I won money! And they're like, you won money? And so, what I love, honestly, the thing I think is the most wholesome about the Filipinos is they all came together and thought they all won. They're like, damn, we're all gonna be rich. And to that, I'm like, damn, okay, is Pepsi going to solve an entire third world country's economic crisis? Like, is this what's gonna go down? No! You fool! You think Pepsi gives a shit about the economy? They're trying to make money! And so what happened was people started essentially just piling onto Pepsi HQ asking for their money because they earned money. They got $1 million, apparently. The TV said they did. The big glowing box on their desk. But honestly, to a certain extent, I don't blame Pepsi, because to actually pay all of the winners the money that they deserve, Pepsi would have to pay them $32 billion, which is absolutely absurd, because Pepsi's net worth, period, is $233 billion as of right now. So that's probably not even what it was back then. But to think that Pepsi would have to pay the entirety of the Philippines 1/7 of their entire net worth of the modern day is absolutely goofy to me. But regardless, people thought they deserved it. They thought they'd earned it because they did. The TV said so, as I said. And so what Pepsi did was, instead of giving them the $1 million, they offered, hey, instead of that 1 million pesos, let me just give you 500. Would you want deal? Deal. I tell you I'll give you $1 million and I'll give you $500 or 500 pesos, which equates to about $18. So not even a 20, not even a crisp Benjamin. Like, that's awful. Actually, no, not even a Benjamin, because I'm an idiot. Benjamin's on the $100 bill. We're talking about Andrew Jackson out here, which wouldn't even be something they'd be receiving because they are in the Philippines. But anyways, people were pissed, and oh my god, I closed my tab. No! But anyways, I'm back again. 486,000 people accepted the 500 pesos. So about around half of the winners were like, you know what? Fine, whatever, I'll take your $18 and hit the road, I guess, you freak. And to add to the confusion, then they later printed in the newspaper the next morning that the number 134 won to try and offset the confusion. But that made it even worse. That's another number that was out there. Like, that doesn't help. But of course, this is when things started getting so much worse. People started gathering together into alliances to fight back and boycott Pepsi, to the point that there was a group that came together called the 349 Alliance, because it was all people who got the bottle cap and thought they had deserved 1 million pesos. And it got really bad. It got to the point that there was apparently a school teacher and a 5-year-old child who was caught in a firebombing and, of course, didn't make it out. Alongside that, there were multiple, I think 3 PCPPI employees, which are people of Pepsi employees in the Philippines, who died because a hand grenade was thrown in one of their offices. Oh my god. Do not deny the Filipinos their money, because it ends terribly. And adding on to that is my favorite statistic in this entire endeavor, and it's that they counted 37 different Pepsi trucks that were upturned, stoned, or just absolutely destroyed in the rioting. They were being obliterated. And then, of course, Pepsi, like every single Filipino Pepsi employee received death threats. Because, of course, what do you think? They're going to upturn trucks and not send death threats to everyone who works there? Like, they're clearly dedicated to this because they want their cash. But, of course, keep your pants on because I'm about to blow them off. Hey, I said keep them on. Put them back on. Thank you. There is an absolutely absurd plot twist that came in later, because when they arrested different people for bombings, because there were bombings, one of the different bombers had claimed that Pepsi had paid them money to do the bombings. So, of course, the narrative started getting pushed that apparently Pepsi was trying to make all of these protesters look like terrorists as to try and discount their protest, which is absurd. Are you telling me that as a result of Pepsi being pushed into a corner by not giving these Filipino people money that they promised they'd give them, they decided to try and stage a coup within the protesting group? Are you kidding me? I also love that when I was reading one of the articles about this, apparently the Filipino Senate had accused Pepsi of gross negligence for this entire fiasco. And I love the article says that they had noted that they were involved in a similar fiasco in Chile just a month before this went down. I tried to dig and I couldn't find anything on it, so apparently Pepsi started something crazy in Chile as well. I mean, if this video gets enough traction, maybe I'll dig into it. We'll see what they did there too, because my god, Pepsi is devious as hell. Last video I talked about how Pepsi was chill and like they didn't steal Coca-Cola's secret recipe, but it seems like they're perfectly fine with destroying third world countries. Like, oh my god. But of course, not everyone took to the streets with pitchforks and torches. Some people actually went to the court of law to try and solve this entire situation. Apparently, 22,000 people had gone and taken legal action against PepsiCo, which most of them kind of got thrown out. A lot of people got angry about that, but apparently what happened was they went all the way to the Filipino Supreme Court to come to the conclusion that Pepsi can't really rationally pay everyone the money they are owed. And so they're essentially like, hey, Pepsi, you are bad. You're gonna have to pay a fine to the government because you are an idiot, and we're gonna drop this entire thing, and you're not gonna be allowed to do this anymore. Just go away. Leave us alone. You've ruined everything, you idiots. And we're gonna call it a day, and we'll just pretend it never happened. You assholes, you meanies. PepsiCo apparently was asked about this recently, and they came out saying that, like, yeah, we feel bad, but literally no one who was working here when that happened works here now, so we don't really have any valuable input for you. My bad. Sorry. And so that's essentially the end of it. I appreciate you guys staying with me through this, though. I've been doing a lot of like story videos recently, just kind of talking about things that happened in the past. So I hope you've enjoyed that kind of content. I've gotten kind of bored of talking about drama. It's kind of boring just talking about like this streamer Glimbo fought Sharpo. Are they gonna slurp? It's like, I don't care. Who gives a shit? So here, we're talking about this. So thank you guys for being here. I'll see you in whatever we do next. And yeah, as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, good night, and who knows, maybe you can be the next big Pepsi winner.